Good afternoon, and welcome to another ponderous episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your pontificating and prolific host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Okay. Alright. I have a new hat, which I'll be wearing for a while. And I have an old lease on life, because things are not good in the microcosm. And that is a good sign, because I think bottom has been reached for me personally, and I'll tell you why. I make money at my job, not a lot, but sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not that great, and November has been very slow, which is the want of many restaurants, because holidays are coming up and it's winter setting in, and there's other factors. I won't mention inflation or anything like that, but November has been very slow and the money's not as good as it usually is, and so when I feel like I'm not making enough, I try to make more using very risky methods. And sometimes my mind goes out the door when I do that, because I'm an addict and I gamble too much, because I want to win that big amount of money I can put in the bank and pay my bills. It's not because I want riches. I don't want a yacht. But I blew it last night badly. I took my free play and played for a while, and I was playing very carefully and methodically, and everything was fine. And then I won a little bit, and then I went off the deep end, and all the money that I was going to use for bills is gone. So that puts me in a bit of a pickle, and I was talking to Max, who has another pickle of drinking, and he was going to get a temporary job today, because he does that on his days off, which I'm proud of him about that. But he slept in, and he told me that there was no job today. So I told him that I fucked up and that I might have to relinquish my power completely to Benjamin, my other son, who's responsible, who does things correctly. And I'm going to have to go hat in hand to him. But in the meantime, I decided that I got to stop, and so I'm going to have to stop, because I have no choice. It's a very expensive habit. It's much better to smoke pot or even drink alcohol as far as money goes, because you can do it cheaply if you want. But this gambling business has got to go, so I got to stop. And I'm going to, because I'm getting to that age now where there's no, there's not a whole lot of quality time left. I only have about 60 more years, and I don't want to keep doing what I'm doing. I know I'm just like my kid, so when I reprimand him, I'm reprimanding myself. I know that I am defective, and I have defective progeny, just in different ways. And I don't think they're defective in a bad way, but it's just idiosyncrasies in their personalities that are like mine, and it's my fault. My kid and I were talking about the fact that when he's on the phone, he's very different than when he's in person. He's very outgoing and friendly, and super friendly, like, A lot of personality, calling people by their name and being very polite and to the point and sounding cheerful. And I'm like, if you could be like that in person, then you'd get your bartender job, or you'd get your job where you can, deal with people. And I'm the same way. I don't like facing people face to face. I can't look them in the eye because I feel like I'm exposing myself. So I wanted to talk about that. The microcosm's got to get better because it couldn't get much worse right now. And I can always make more money. I'm going to keep on trying to do this and that to make extra money, because I can't make more than I'm making now at my job because of this Social Security. So that's where the microcosm stands. And just when Max and I were coming to the conclusion that we had to, change our ways, he gets a call from the job place, and they set up a job for him for today. So I can see I was chanting, and then suddenly he gets a job. And this is my only day off. And the reason there's no bumper music is because my internet is off. So I don't know when you're going to see this. And it's off because of AT&T, because my bill is current. So that's the second time this has happened. And it's been down for almost 3 days now, so I haven't watched any news. So what I was going to talk about politically was this Paylossi speech, which was disgusting. But I wanted to just touch on that because it got me real irate when I saw her speaking, because she used every platitude in the book, and I think there was only D's in the audience because they were always clapping and standing, and I didn't see anybody sitting like they do in the State of the Union, where half of them sit down and scowl and the other half clap. And then it goes the other way around. But I heard a lot of clapping, and it was a very uncomfortable speech. She just pulled everything out of the hat. Justice and freedom and America and serving, and it was my pleasure and my privilege to serve as your speaker, and I got so much done, and I can't remember it, and I can't go back and watch it now, so I'm just going from memory. I saw it a week ago. Okay, she hates Orangey with a passion. She would not acknowledge the fact that he was president during her speech. She said something to the effect of, I served under George W. Bush, named them all but Orangey. And still the memory of her ripping up the speech at the State of the Union, which was the height of rudeness. But she was making a point to her followers that I'm one of you. I hate him with all my heart. And it's still fresh in my mind, but I wanted to explain the meaning of life and how that connects to this Paylossi business now. There is a karmic relationship between everybody. We've all lived forever, okay? There's a certain energy spark, which you might call a spirit or a soul or a energy or a life force. It's in our bodies, somehow incorporated in our physical being. When the time is right, the life goes into the organism and you're born. And it happens for trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of years. You can make the biggest number possible and then double it, and then double that. That's how long we've been around together. So Orangey and Paylossi have a karmic relationship. Now, Orangey was probably a bad guy in one of his lifetimes, and he probably had a lot of victims, possibly in the millions. Who knows where, who knows when. But these victims have come back with Orangey and hate his guts and don't have any idea why. And I just told you why. That's the meaning of life in a nutshell. So I can thank Paylossi for that. I guess what else is happening in the politics? They're desperately trying to get Orangey arrested for something, get him indicted, so they have named a special prosecutor, special counsel, our beloved grandma, Garland Merrick. He's a very just person. He's very fair-handed, very even-handed. There hasn't been anything about this Hunter Biden syndicate business, but that might start happening January 20th. Oh yeah, I remember, because I don't watch the news right now. The Goppers jumped out maybe a little early, saying we're going to jump right into this Hunter Biden business and check into it. And the guy said outright, we're really not interested in Hunter, we're interested in going after the big guy, the Mr. Bobo. So that should be interesting, but we'll see what happens. I think it'll take them a while to wind it up and get it going. And there'll be all kinds of goppers that don't want to do that because it'll be rocking the boat, and let's try to solve problems. Let's not worry about who stole from who, and which countries gave millions of dollars to which family. Who cares about that? Let's go after Orangey. We don't want him running. So that was a little interesting to see. What else off the top of my head? Well, I guess nothing came of that raid, so I guess they're moving on to other things. So I guess they ransacked his house and couldn't find anything to incriminate him with, so the fibbies go on with their fibbing. And see, not watching the news, I can't really reel off a whole bunch of crap. It's the same old gobbledygook. I'm glad that Paylossi's leaving. I hope she's arrested on January 21st for insider trading. I think that would be a good start. And she can forget about her career now. I'm still interested to see, I haven't heard hide nor hair of D. Poppy or D. Papy. What's going on with his prosecution, because I don't know what they're going to do with that. That's going to be very interesting to see. My prediction, which is usually always wrong, plead insanity. I'm his lawyer. Okay. Plead insanity, and they will find you insane and put you in a mental institution for a couple months, and then you will be free. Or we can go to trial, and I can't guarantee your safety anywhere. So that's how that will go. So look for an insanity plea, and look for it to go smoothly through the system. He will be put somewhere and released and sent to Canada in a couple months. So that's how that goes. I hope I can post this one of these days, if AT&T would get its act together and get the connection going. I'll post this. It wasn't too bad considering I didn't know what I was doing. And I had to tell you a bunch of my personal stuff, which is good for me. It's therapeutic. So, and the reason no bumper music, of course, is because my Kindle is down too, because it's running off the same broadband thing. So I'll call it a day. I'm done, and thanks for putting up with my crap. Talk to you later.